an hour-long mindfulness meditation, a general practice of mindfulness. In today's long meditation, we will start by establishing the anchor, meaning finding a point of focus that is both comfortable and easy to pay attention to. This could be your breath, sensations in the body, or even sounds or sights that you notice. We will then proceed with a relaxing body scan, noticing any sensations or lack of sensations in the body. Next, we will become aware of our emotional state and feelings, especially connecting these to the sensations in the body. Thinking process and noticing our thoughts and their patterns will follow. And finally, we will allow ourselves to open to anything that appears. That can include the sounds or sights, body sensations, feelings, emotions, or thoughts. Anything happening in the moment will be noticed with kindness and without any judgment. Let's start, as always, by finding a comfortable posture where the back is straight and the body is relaxed. You can decide which position is most comfortable for you. As today's practice is quite long, I would suggest either sitting or lying down. You can also choose to close your eyes or keep them open. If you decide to keep your eyes open, let your gaze be soft and relaxed and not focused on anything too intensely. If you are sitting, take a moment to check that your posture is well supported by the chair or surface you are sitting on. It can be beneficial to sit in such a way that your hips are slightly higher than your knees. So perhaps add some pillows to the seat if needed. To encourage keeping a straight back, bringing the chest forward and pulling the shoulders down and back can also be helpful. Finally, decide where you would like to rest your arms and hands, possibly on your lap, touching each other or apart. You can also place your hands gently on your belly, especially if that helps you in paying attention to your breathing. If you are lying down on your back, it may also be nice to ensure that your head and neck are resting in a way that will not be causing any strain on your neck muscles. Placing a small pillow under the neck might be helpful. Also, placing a larger pillow under the knees can help your back to keep its natural curve. You can choose to keep your legs straight or bend them so that the soles of your feet are placed on the surface you are lying on. It's really all about your comfort, and you can always adjust the position if necessary. As with sitting position, you can place your hands to your sides, palms up or down, or perhaps place them on your belly. Remember that it may not be possible for you to follow all of my instructions. For example, perhaps you can only lie down on your side. It is perfectly okay to stay in position that works for you. Always trust yourself and listen to your needs as we continue. There is no need to do anything too uncomfortable or overwhelming. I hope you have found a stable and relaxed position in which you are comfortable. It's time to find the anchor or point of focus for the meditation. An anchor is simply a place where we put all of our attention to calm our busy minds. It helps us develop our mindfulness capabilities in both meditation and real life. We typically have our favorite anchors, so it is a great idea to experiment with several options to find your favorite. The most common anchor is simply the breath. Breathing process is very much an automatic one. As long as we are alive, we all breathe. We will start then by taking a couple of deeper breaths, allowing our chest and belly to inflate fully with each breath, and if possible, letting the exhale be slightly longer than the inhale. This kind of breathing helps calm down the nervous system and also allows you to notice where you can detect the breath in the easiest way. So take deep breaths for a short while and note where is it that you can tell you are breathing. It could be through the airflow right under your nose, a slight tingling inside your nostrils or back of your throat. It could be in the rising of your chest and belly, or simply in the movement of your entire body. If you notice that paying attention to the breathing is in some way unpleasant or uncomfortable, you can already swap it for a different anchor and perhaps start simply listening to the sounds, letting some of the instructions related to following the breathing simply pass by. Perhaps listening to these instructions and allowing the sounds to surround you and become your own private soundscape. Once you have found how to detect the breath in the easiest way, you can allow the breathing to return to your normal pace and depth and simply follow its natural flow. Breathing in and breathing out. No need to control breathing in any way, just allowing the breath to breathe itself. Simply noticing each inhale and each exhale. Sometimes it can help to count each breath just to stay focused on the breathing. You can try it out and very quietly note each inhale in your mind, starting at 1 until you count to 10 inhales or get distracted. So taking a breath in and noticing it as a 1 and breathing out, taking a breath in, 2 and breathing out, taking a breath in, 3 and breathing out, and continuing at your own pace. 4, 5, 6, and of course, if you get distracted, you can just return to 1, or if you counted all the way to 10, you can start from the beginning. It is quite likely that you have already experienced some distractions. Perhaps there was some sounds that took you away from following the breath. Perhaps you suddenly found yourself lost in thoughts. Maybe some emotions showed up. We all get distracted, and it is especially noticeable during the meditation, when we are sitting so quietly and our mind is a bit bored. However, it is not really important what took your attention away from following the breath. As soon as we notice that we are no longer paying attention to our anchor, we gently return there. So every time you get distracted, you may thank your mind quietly, "Thank you, not now," and return to the breath, perhaps counting the breaths, or whatever works best for you to stay focused on the breathing. As already mentioned, breathing may not be the best anchor for everyone. It can be replaced simply by paying attention to sounds or sights if your eyes are open. Some people really enjoy gently focusing their eyes on a burning candle or a flower or another pleasant or beautiful object to look at. Others really love the sounds and focusing their attention on sounds. There is even a whole community of sound aficionados who take lots of pleasure and comfort in listening to ASMR audio or video recordings. So, focusing on sensing something coming from the external environment has an added benefit in that most people are not striving to control these sensations. It can often happen with breathing that we feel the need to control it in some way, which is not recommended for the general practice of mindfulness. Allow yourself to become aware of the sights or sounds surrounding you. Perhaps the sound of my voice, perhaps the sounds in your environment. even the lack of sounds. Notice if the sounds are pleasant. Perhaps they are unpleasant, or maybe neutral. Notice if the sounds are loud or quiet. Are they constant, or do they have a certain rhythm? Are they musical in some way? Simply listen and notice the sounds for a short moment. If your eyes are open, I invite you to find an object or a view to look at that brings you joy. It could be a candle or a flower, a picture of your family or a pet, a view outside of your window. Anything that brings happy memories or thoughts will work best. Then you can simply focus your gaze softly upon that object or view and invite the sensations that it brings. Noticing how looking at something pleasant affects your body, heart, and mind. The final anchor option for our attention is the sensation in our bodies. Even though we will soon proceed with the full body scan, I invite you to first locate one area in your body where you can detect some pleasant or at least neutral sensations. Typically, those areas could be in our feet or hands, toes or fingers, maybe cheeks or lips, or even ears. We all have areas of the body where we feel more comfort than discomfort once we allow ourselves to sense into the body. It's also okay to continue focusing on the sounds, sights, or breathing if feeling the body sensations is not at all pleasant for you. If you have found a pleasant or neutral area of the body where you can focus your attention on, allow yourself to rest there for a moment of silence, noticing any sensations that may appear, perhaps tingling or itching, warmth or coolness of air touching the skin, softness or firmness of any surface that you may be touching. There is no need to name the sensations. Whatever sensations are there, just allowing them to appear and disappear on their own. It may also be that there are no special sensations, and that's also okay. These anchors that we have discovered, the breathing, the sounds or sights, the body sensations, can serve you for the rest of this meditation. Whenever you get distracted or when you get uncomfortable or overwhelmed, you can always just return to your favorite anchor and pay attention to it for a bit to calm and relax your body and mind. It is your safe space, and after some rest with the anchor, you can later always return to following the instructions wherever you left off. We are now ready to continue with the full body scan, letting go of focusing on breathing, sound or sights, or just one area of the body. I invite you to gently place your attention on your head, starting from the very top of the head and the surface of your skin, noticing any sensations you might feel there. Perhaps the touch of the air on the skin, perhaps slight tightness, itching. Any sensations or lack of sensation is perfectly fine. Moving down the face, relaxing the forehead and the brow area as much as possible. Noticing the muscles around and behind the eyes, allowing them to naturally relax and soften. It can be helpful to place your warm hands gently over your eyes for a short moment to help with that relaxation. If you spend a lot of time in front of the screens, a short break for the eyes should be good for you as well. Moving on down to the cheeks, lips and chin, allowing the face muscles to relax fully, unclenching the jaw, allowing it to drop loosely. It's a common area in our bodies where we hold a lot of tension. So let yourself take a few deep yawns to unlock these tight jaw muscles. I invite you now to notice the sensations in your neck and shoulders. There could be some discomfort there, especially if you are working long hours at the desk. If it is a possibility for you, you can spend a short moment applying a soft touch or pressure to the sides of your neck and top of your shoulders to allow yourself feel a bit more relaxation from the warmth of your hands. You can also make a few round movements with shoulders. Pull them up to your ears and then fully relax, letting them drop down completely. Remember that there's no correct way to feel the sensations, so your experience may be different. And just allow as much softening and relaxation as it is possible for you today. Feeling into the sensations in your back as well. especially lower back area, which might carry a bit of tension. So allow some time to relax to the extent possible. Have you found yourself lost in thoughts yet? If so, don't worry about it. We are all getting lost many times during the meditation. As soon as you notice you are distracted, gently say to your active mind, "Thank you, not now," and return to scanning the body. Kindly continue the scan with paying attention to the sensations in your arms and hands. Notice their weight as they are placed on the surface they are on. Perhaps you can sense what's happening both inside and outside of your arms, elbows, wrists, palms, and even fingers. Can you feel some energy or restlessness there? Perhaps relaxation and comfort. Gently touching one hand with the other is also a wonderful way of connecting deeper to the sensations you may be feeling in your hands. Feel free to experiment with touch at any point if it helps you to feel more embodiment during today's practice. Moving to the chest and belly area, noticing any sensations that may be present there. Filling the chest and belly with air might help you connect with these sensations. Sometimes labeling sensation can also help. Are the sensations pleasant, neutral, unpleasant? Is there tightness, fullness, emptiness? It is not uncommon for strong emotions to appear when we pay attention to the chest and the belly. And if anything becomes too overwhelming, remember that you can always return to your safe anchor to rest for a bit before continuing with the body scan. However, if the sensations are not too uncomfortable, it may be beneficial to simply stay with them, allowing them to pass as they often do on their own. Noticing how sensations continuously change and don't really stay exactly the same for long. Finding a way down to the hips and the space all around our lower torso. Noticing sensations and relaxing the muscles, even down to the very bones resting on the seat. Feeling the sensations in the upper legs, in the tops of the legs, underneath the legs, inside the thighs, as well as on the sides of the legs. both inside and out of the legs. Allowing the muscles to soften and relax, resting on the seat or the surface you're on, sinking in deeper into the surface, noticing sensations in the knees, softly labeling if helpful, tingling, itching, pulling, stretching. If labeling becomes distracting, simply dropping it and staying with actual sensations. Feeling the lower legs, the muscles and bones, all the way down to the ankles and feet. Allowing the feet to rest, touching gently the surface they are placed on. Noticing the sensations in the heels, the soles, the arches. Following the sensations into each toe, toe by toe, allowing them to relax and soften. Before we move on to the next focus area of our mindfulness meditation, I invite you to spend a short moment simply feeling into your entire body, resting on the seat or surface you're on. Notice any changes in sensations from when we started. Is there a bit more softness and relaxation, increased comfort in being in your body, more embodiment, or perhaps there are no noticeable changes? Whatever changed, simply allow the body to take its space, being pulled safely by gravity. Connected to the earth, you belong here, and your body takes care of you every day. It is breathing and circulating blood. Allow yourself to feel that aliveness and energy in your body, in its small and big miracles, and in its imperfections. Have you noticed any emotions appearing during the body scan? It is very likely you have been perhaps distracted by some stronger feelings appearing, and perhaps you remembered to gently return to the body scan when it happened. As we move on, you can indulge a bit in paying more attention to these emotional states. Start perhaps by simply asking, what am I feeling right now? Is there any particular emotion that I am noticing or have noticed during the body scan? Take your time, and if there is no feeling or emotion, don't force it and simply place attention on your favorite anchor, Eventually, some thought or emotion will arise and distract you. Once you notice an emotion is present, you can softly name it in your mind. Perhaps it is sadness, perhaps joy, maybe some frustration or fear. All emotions are welcome. There are no good or bad emotions. They all carry important information, and we can learn to respond wisely to our emotions by paying closer attention to what they are, how they appear and disappear, how they affect our body and mental state. So I invite you to take as much time as needed to feel any emotions that may come and go, and if helpful, name them. Sadness, sadness, or fear, fear, or joy, joy. Once you recognize an emotion, you can check where it is located in your body. How does it feel in your body? What is the felt sensation of it? Is there constriction in your throat, tightness in the chest, tension in the belly? Emotions often show up in these areas, but they can also be somewhere else. So let yourself slowly scan your body to find out where the emotion seems to hide. Paying attention to the area where the emotion seems to be present, notice if anything changes with time. Does breathing into the area help you relax around it? Does placing a hand on the area help? Feel free to experiment with a gentle touch to express your acceptance and kindness towards the emotions and sensations you feel in this moment. It is normal to feel deeply. It's in your and mine human nature. It may be that one emotion morphs into another. This is also completely normal, as our emotions often happen together or are caused by each other. Sometimes we get angry because we are afraid, for example, and once the anger passes, we notice the fear appear. So no need to try and stay with one emotion if it turns into another. Once you notice a new emotion, you can try to softly label that emotion and feel how it manifests in your body. Asking again, where is it located? What is it like? How does it change with time? Meeting it with the same kindness and gentleness. Remember to always find your way back to the safety of your anchor when you get distracted or overwhelmed. It is always there for you to rest with until you are ready again to return to paying attention to your emotions. If your emotions seem difficult but not quite overwhelming, you can practice allowing it to be as it is, simply responding with kindness and compassion by using various methods. One of them, already mentioned, is to use gentle touch. I invite you to experiment with this by gently placing a hand on your cheek or chest, allowing it to simply assure your body, heart and mind that it is okay to feel whatever you are feeling right now. If you are in public or not comfortable with touching the heart area or your face, simply holding your hands together may be just as powerful. As with other mammals, we too release the stress and tension in response to the touch, even self-touch. For others, certain words of self-compassion may work very well. You can tell yourself, for example, it's okay to feel this. It's normal to feel upset, fearful, angry. I will take care of you no matter what happens. This also belongs to the human experience. I belong. And if it is difficult for you to direct such words to yourself, you can even imagine someone who cares for you. Perhaps your best friend, family member, role model, or even a pet, simply sitting next to you and directing those phrases of care. Imagine these caring beings in detail, holding your hand, giving you a hug, or otherwise saying, "It's okay to feel this. It's normal to feel upset, sad, fearful, or angry. I will take care of you no matter what happens. You belong." As we continue, this is often the moment when some more thoughts might become even more distracting. Perhaps you remembered to drop thinking and return to your feelings. In any case, we will now allow ourselves to be more aware of the thinking process itself. First, take some time to relax into paying attention to your chosen anchor. The breathing, sensations in the body, or perhaps the sounds or sights. Calming down the emotions and quietening the mind that has perhaps started to create certain stories about what these feelings mean or where they come from. In mindfulness meditation, We are letting go of trying to figure things out. We try not to analyze with our minds. Instead, we focus the attention on what is happening in the present, without any judgment and with kindness. As you again pay attention to the body and the present moment, perhaps you noticed some thoughts appearing again. As with emotions, there's no need to judge them or push them away. There's no need to understand the content of the thought or pursue it. Just noticing that thinking is happening is often enough for the thought to melt away as the snowflake would melt away on the warm skin of your hand. Sometimes it is easier to notice the process of thinking if we softly label thinking in our minds by saying gently, thinking, thinking, and then letting the attention slip away from thinking and back to the present moment with the help of the breath, the body sensation, the sounds or sights. This process may have to be repeated many times as thoughts come and go, just like the clouds appear and disappear in the sky. If certain thoughts seem to come back to you or repeat themselves, you can experiment with noticing their patterns or themes and naming those thinking patterns, while remembering not to dwell on the content nor analyze the reasons of why these patterns appear. So perhaps you might be softly saying in your mind, planning, planning, when you notice that the theme of your thought is to plan for the future, or worrying, worrying, or remembering, remembering, and so on. There's no need to struggle to label thoughts if the pattern is not clear. Just continue naming them thinking, thinking, if that helps you notice the process of thinking and allows you to return to the here and now. Repetitive thoughts often are connected to the emotions and stronger feelings in our bodies. So, if a thought pattern keeps arising, you might check again. What am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? If a clear emotion is strong, you can reapply the technique of connecting with the sensation of this emotion inside your body and stay with that sensation for a while. Then check what happens to the sensation, the emotion, and your thoughts. Do they change with time as you place a kind and gentle attention on how they appear in the present moment? If emotions or thoughts become overwhelming, remember it's always possible to return to your safe anchor and relax the body, heart, and mind. If you can stay with the difficult thoughts or emotion, you can again practice allowing these difficult states with as much kindness and compassion towards yourself as possible through gentle touch, placing a hand on your heart area, through words of self-compassion, perhaps received from someone caring and loving, such as, "It's okay to feel this. It's normal to feel upset, angry, fearful. You belong here. I will take care of you no matter what happens." Trusting yourself in this process, when thoughts arise, perhaps just labeling them as thinking and returning to the breath, the body, or sounds and sights, perhaps naming the patterns if helpful. If difficult thoughts result in stronger emotions, deciding on the safest and most appropriate response. Always responding with kindness and care towards yourself, allowing difficult sensations, if possible, or returning to the safe anchor and relaxing. Simply being with the peace and calm of the present moment. Allow your attention to become as receptive as possible. Let it simply notice whatever is happening inside or outside of you. Are you noticing any sounds, smells, or sights? Are you feeling some sensations in your body, emotions, or noticing some thoughts? Try not to focus on anything too intensely. Simply note it and continue noticing whatever is happening next. Again, if helpful, you can quietly note in your mind what you are noticing. Let this noting be simple and non-judgmental. When noticing thoughts, you can simply note planning or thinking. When noticing sounds, cars, or simply sounds. If this method becomes distracting or is not helpful, you can drop it and just experience whatever is happening in the present moment, allowing yourself to fully relax while these various sensations come and go. I invite you to experiment with it for a short moment in silence. Here we are in the present moment, simply paying attention to whatever is happening, with kindness and without judgment, noticing sensations in our bodies, our breathing, the sounds, allowing our awareness to simply move on from one object of meditation to another whenever we notice something draw our attention. Remembering too that there is no correct or right way of keeping our awareness open to the present moment. It just happens naturally if we let ourselves relax and open. As we open our awareness, we include any emotions or thoughts appearing and disappearing as the clouds appear and disappear on the vast blue sky. With time and practice, perhaps we can notice that there seem to be slightly less distractions, or they pass by a bit faster, and we can return to the calm and peaceful sky of our clear minds. Remember that anytime you get distracted, you can always return to your anchor, a breath, or other sensation you have picked earlier. Once you return to the present moment, you can reopen your awareness to everything that is happening inside and outside of you in this moment. Staying in the present moment without judgment and allowing your attention to wander freely from sensation to sensation. Returning to the sensations in your body, the sounds or sights, the breathing. Taking a few deeper breaths again, getting ready to finish our practice today. In your own time, slowly open your eyes if they were closed and look around to return to your surroundings. It may also be helpful to stretch or move to encourage blood circulation and perhaps have something refreshing to drink to rehydrate. Thank you for taking the time to practice today. I hope you found this long mindfulness meditation helpful in expanding the length of your practice. It certainly can also be used for calming the mind and preparing for rest or sleep, so I hope you return here anytime you may need a longer break.